So now we're going to put the receivers, attach the receivers to the deck. Same basic story as what we did with the speed controllers. You can, I like to put it off to the side just a little bit here and attach it in the same fashion that we attached the speed control. There's a nice ridge if you put the servo plugs in the back. As it decelerates, the zip tie will help keep it from flying forward, which is kind of the failure mode for receivers getting cut loose and flying around on the deck when you crash. So put that up and through. Okay, that's not quite long enough, so I'm just going to double up on it like I did before. Right there. All right, so that receiver is attached sufficiently well. What I will do with this antenna lead, this is actually the functioning antenna part. This is just an extension to it. I will, when I attach it, I will, actually what I like to do is do this. I'll punch a hole here, and then another hole here. And because I want this airplane to get good reception, and I like to have that antenna sticking up a little bit. So I just go like this, and then up through here. There we go. So that this is kind of flying around. It's not long enough to get caught in this prop, which is going to be the important consideration. We don't need to do anything fancier than that. So we have an attached receiver. We have an attached speed control. We need to take this secondary receiver, which actually is another receiver entirely. If this loses signal, this one they will compete for who has the best signal, and one or the other hopefully will have good reception, and then you have a more robust connection to the signal from the transmitter. So we're going to do the same thing here. Punch a few holes. I'm going to do this one in a cross fashion. It tends to fly around a little bit. And I can use little ones. All right, clean that up a little bit. And this I'm going to leave loose because I'll just tape it down to the airframe when I attach it. So I want this to be in a very different location and orientation than this one. So that's to get the benefit of having multiple places to receive signal. This can be a big deal if you have metallized skins on these airplanes, decorative skins. You do want to have two receivers. It really does help. All right. So the last bit are these servo wires, which are long enough, as is this, to get caught back into the prop. So what we want to do is just kind of neaten that up. I don't recommend using tape to do it. What I tend to do is sort of wrap things up into little coils of some form or another. You want to leave room for the battery because the battery is going to live here. So if we can take, I will just do a little wrap around my finger and just put a hole here. You can make this very pretty and clean. I'm not bothering right now. I'm just trying to be fast. So that's pretty good. So I'll do one there. One thing to avoid is doing something like this where you sort of bunch them together. Loops are much more effective because they won't come undone under, you know, sort of the high G loads of a crash, which will happen. This one went on top of that, those motor cables. So I'm just going to put it underneath just because I kind of prefer it that way for aerodynamic reasons. That's a joke. So in fact, what I'm going to do is just sort of wrap all these guys up together in a single case right here. And lastly, this one needs to be done. Oops, I also screwed this. This has kind of gotten tangled up with that. And what you can do is just unplug this little receiver if you need to. Reroute a little bit. So I want to see that on top of there. And let's wrap it up in a little bit of thing like that. That'll work great. Put it back. Okay. And there you have it. That is an assembled deck